Shalom Aleichem, everyone. Hope everyone's doing well. I had the privilege last week of being in Chutz La'aretz for a chasna in New York, Gary Federer's wedding, which was amazing. Then I had a quick stop in Boston. Then I went to London, doing a little recruiting in London. We're trying to attract some Europeans to the yeshiva. And also had the opportunity to see a lot of alumni here in yeshiva. And now this week we have Yarchei Kala with a lot of parents around. Special deal with Eitan Rund yesterday, which was very, very inspiring. We saw Givat Moshe reliving the 1967 war, and we actually went to the very site on the Tayelet where Eitan Rund literally thwarted, or at least stopped, the continuation of a terrorist attack just last week on Asar B'Teves, where we had that truck mowing down a number of soldiers. So Eitan Rund, our tour guide, was there and actually showed us exactly what happened, the place where he did what he did. It was actually a very, very inspiring and uplifting day. This week is Parshat Va'eira, and I want to share with you a very short, quick, sweet idea that comes from Rav Chaim Shmulevitz's Sefer, the Sichas Musar. If you take a look at the beginning of the Parsha, Perek Vav, Pasuk Yud Gimel, so Hashem tells Moshe Rabbeinu he wants him to lead the mission in bringing Bnei Yisrael out of Mitzrayim. Moshe says he's kvad peh, he doesn't speak well, he seems to resist a little bit. And Hashem implores him, he says, okay. And then we're told the following very, very striking pasuk. The Torah says, Vayidaber Hashem Moshe vel Aharon lemor, Vayitzaveim el b'nei Yisrael, ve'el Paro melech Mitzrayim, lohotzi es b'nei Yisrael me'eretz Mitzrayim. What is so striking about that pasuk? So I understand Hashem commands Moshe, tells Aaron, go to Paro, command him to take b'nei Yisrael out of Mitzrayim. That's not exactly what the pasuk says. The pasuk says, "Vayitzaveim el bnei Yisrael," that the Jews are commanded, but it doesn't say what they're commanded. Commanding Paro to take bnei Yisrael out of Mitzrayim, that I get, but what exactly is bnei Yisrael being commanded? They're commanded something, but the Torah leaves blank. What exactly is their mission? What exactly is their command? Yushalmi Maseches Rosh Hashanah Perek Gimel Mishnah Hey notices this issue and says a very, very striking chiddush. You know what they're commanded? They're given right now, in the middle of Mitzrayim, one of the 613 mitzvahs. Which mitzvah they're given? They're given the mitzvah of Shiluach Avodim. Says the Yushalmi, Amat Sivam, what was the command? The mitzvah of Shiluach Avodim, the mitzvah that when you have an Eved, so after a period of time, after 7 years, or after the Yovel, during the Yovel year, you have to free your Avodim. That's the mitzvah that they're given right now. In fact, the Navi Yirmiyahu implores, criticizes Klal Yisrael, that they were not very diligent about this mitzvah. When they had Avodim, they did not easily free their Avodim. In fact, the Pasuk in Yirmiyahu, in Perek Lamed Daled, highlights that this was one of the breaches, a serious breach of Klal Yisrael. They did not fulfill this mitzvah, which was already given to them. The Navi says, they're in Mitzrayim. Very, very strange. Why in the world are we given a mitzvah of Shiluach Avodim now in Mitzrayim? It's only relevant when there's a Yovel, when we're living in Eretz Yisrael. And what in the world do the Jewish people have a vision and understanding of what it means to be an Eved owner after all? They have 210 years of persecution as Avadim themselves. They're going to be 40 years in the Midbar. Finally, they're going to settle the land, and only then is this going to be relevant hundreds of years later. Why are they given the command of Shiluach Avadim right now? So says Rav Chaim Shmulevitz, a very profound and beautiful idea. The mitzvah of Shiluach Avadim is, imagine, you have a live-in. You have someone who's taking care of all of your needs. And now, time is, you have to give him up. You have to give up him or her. Not an easy mitzvah. You become dependent on your avodim. Very, very hard mitzvah. A real nisayim. Says Rav Chaim Shmulevitz, a person has to be sensitized to the importance of mitzvahs. And certain mitzvahs are hard to fulfill, and you have to be prepared to listen. You have to be sensitive to listen. And you have to be told at the exact right time. The mitzvah of Shiluach Avadim, later on in Jewish history, very difficult mitzvah to fulfill. So Klal Yisrael has to be able to hear this mitzvah. And what better time to hear the mitzvah than right now when they themselves are slaves. Now they understand what it means to be an Eved. How difficult, how arduous it is to be an Eved. Now they can appreciate and understand what this mitzvah is all about. That's when they're told about the mitzvah. Right now, as they've experienced years of abdus and now they're about to go free, perfect time to go ahead and tell Klal Yisrael about this mitzvah. And it's a fundamental lesson, says Rav Chaim Shmulevitz. He develops the idea, we speak about it a lot in Yeshiva, of timing and taking moments of inspiration, moments when we can listen, when we do hear, when a message will penetrate. And at that moment, you have to do something about it. Klal Yisrael right now can hear this mitzvah, and therefore it's given now when they can accept it, makabel it, and actually build it into their psyche. And that's a fundamental lesson, says Rav Chaim Shmulevitz, in life, is that all too often life is ups and downs. We are built to become desensitized. That's the nature of man. Our senses get dulled over time. There can be a noise, a low noise in the room, and you get used to it. You don't hear it anymore. We don't hear the air conditioning. We don't hear the noise that is around us until suddenly it stops. We become desensitized, and there are points of sensitivity. We call those points inspirational moments. And at those inspirational moments where we can hear, we can accept, or we can take upon ourselves things, that's when we have to go ahead and do so. And therefore, it's so critical that we're very busy, always at work, always worrying about family, parnasa, all these various things that so occupy our lives. And every so often, we have those moments. We feel uplifted. We feel inspired. We feel, you know what? I can seize a new mitzvah. I can grow. I can achieve something unique, something special. That's when we hear it, we can hear it, and then we have to concretize. We have to do something concrete to make it happen. I'll just share with you that I was browsing the New York Times online, and a headline struck me. The headline, a short article, is on January 18th online issue. It's still out there if you want to take a look. It says it's written by something once called the Sketch Guy. It's a very short little piece, and it's titled as follows: Free time? Not likely. For time is anything but free. And the article reads as follows: how do you, quote unquote, spend your time? Because make no mistake, time is currency. There is a cost to how you spend it. The cost might be a trade-off, like choosing one activity over another, but don't fool yourself into thinking that this is a free exchange. This is why I've never understood it when people ask, how do you spend your free time? Time isn't free. It's a valuable, non-renewable resource. It's actually quite expensive. It's a very, very important and profound message. We speak about it all the time in Yeshiva, but it's something to think about a lot. My father sends me an email. Every so often he sends me jokes, this, that, and the other thing. Usually I don't have time to read all the emails. But one time he did send me an email that struck me. I thought it was a beautiful, beautiful mashal. It's an email about a game. And the game is played by a bank. Halavai, it's true, it's a mashal. Don't get so excited. But the email, the mashal goes like this. The bank picks a prize winner. And the prize winner gets every single day, $86,400. And there are two rules to the game. He gets that cash in his bank account, $86,400. Cash in the bank account. Two rules to the game. One rule is those dollars have to be spent the day they're received. You do not get to carry over Tuesday's money into Wednesday. It has to all be spent. That's rule number one. Rule number two is the bank can end the game anytime it wants. Wants to end the game, game over. And you don't get a choice. Those are the two rules of the game. And that's, of course, a mashal. But the question they're asking is, what would you think? What would you do if you had that opportunity to have this amount of money every day, no carryover, and the game ends at any time the bank wants? What would you do with that sum of money? So what, of course, is the nimshal? The nimshal is the bank is Hashem. 86,400 seconds are given to us every single day. Unfortunately for us, we don't get to carry them over. They're deposited in our bank account every day. And we get to use those 86,400 seconds. We can't take Tuesdays into Wednesdays. And the game can end anytime the so-called banker wants. We don't know how long the game is going to work. It's a very important yesod. Time is a valuable resource. It's something we do spend. It is currency. And we have to think about how we spend it. And the message of this idea, Rav Chaim Shmulevitz's idea, is when you have those moments, those special moments where a lot of our lives we're in darkness. It's dark, we can't see, we lose direction. And then there's that bolt of lightning. And for that split second, everything becomes clear. There's clarity. And sure, that lightning disappears moments later, but it gives us that sense of direction. It's that moment that we take upon ourselves new things. Perhaps a mitzvah that we know we should be doing. And you have that moment of inspiration, concretize, bring it home, and now we can step forward. Those moments of clarity need to be capitalized upon. We need to seize them, take advantage of them, appreciate all that we have around us, and make sure, something I think about a lot, is those 86,400 seconds. Time is such a valuable resource, the most important resource. Certainly Klal Yisrael, that Eved mentality, he doesn't control time. And to be a Ben Chorin means that we're in charge of our time, we control our time, and we should all be zoche to maximize our opportunities in this world, to really achieve Ben Adam LaMakom, Ben Adam LaChavero, and really become the great people that we have inside of us.